You're listening to Creatively Geeky, the support group for your creative process.
Hello and welcome to the Creatively Geeky Show, episode number 39. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight I'm joined by Kris and Ray. How are y'all doing?
Hello.
I'm doing pretty good.
Deal. We're all tired. We were talking just a little right before the show started, and we're all just tired. So. Maybe we'll get some energy when we get the episode going. We'll see. We were originally supposed to be joined by we're courting a fourth member of the show. He wasn't able to make it tonight.
Which is fine.
Yep, that's okay.
But it's fine. It is what it is. So hopefully maybe he can join us for the next one. So we will see. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right on into our update. This is our update episode to talk about, if we've been meeting our goals and what we've been working on and all the other good stuff. So with that said, would anyone like to go first?
You.
Me. All right, cool.
Whoa.
I like that. Okay, let's see. The things I had down from last time were finish my proton pack. I did not have one. Paint the hallway. I did get that one done. That one's a good one. Finish the Roomba. I got that done. And start RTV. And that's what I had listed. So let's talk. I am making progress on the proton pack. Actually, if we weren't doing the show tonight, I would probably be outside in the 90 some odd degree weather right now, even though it's 8 o'clock at night, because I live in Central Texas. Wet sanding parts so that once I get those wet sanded, I can get them painted, and then I can start final assembly on the wand. So
if you were smart, you would stand in the pool with your wet sanding on the outside.
No, here's the problem is the outside, I'd have to go look. I mean, I can tell you what the weather tells me the weather is outside. Let's just see here. Right now, according to my app, it's 100 degrees outside. I bet on my porch it's closer to 94, 95. I guarantee the pump on my pool tells me it's 94, 95 as well. So, of course, it would be cooler being in the water. But anyway, yeah, so I would probably be wet sanding on some parts. So I'm actually making progress on this finally.
It's 38 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's 38
Oh,
degrees Celsius.
It's ugly.
I didn't know what 100 Fahrenheit was in Celsius.
Yeah, it's ugly outside. Yeah, not to turn this into a weather podcast, but yeah, it's ridiculous right here.
That's inhumane. No, thank you.
There's literally like this like just high pressure bubble almost covering the entire state right now, and we are literally watching rain coming in from the west and just going right around us, and it's just like, you son of a bitch. So
what you don't know is Canada actually put a dome around you.
I know, right? Someone posted a picture of the weather happening the other day. It said something like, God bless Texas. God, nope. Not right now. He didn't. Let's say I had paint the hallway. I did get the hallway painted. That was not that hard a job. It was just one of those things. It's like, I've just got to buckle down and get it done. Finish the Roomba. I got it done. It looks awesome. I actually got it at a convention. I had to make some minor modifications to it. I was using magnets to hold the RC car to the shell of the Roomba, and they just weren't quite strong enough. Like, it would kind of shake around a little bit. So I ended up cutting some slits on the inside because there were some additional attachment points on the little RC car. And so I took some Velcro straps and put it on there. And so it's pretty solid. The problem I kept having though is it wouldn't keep shifting, and it's because of the way the little mini puffs are on top of it. Yeah. And so I figured out if I take off the ones that are on the far sides and just leave the ones that are on the front and the back, it works pretty good. The only issue is it's the first con we had it at, it quieted down, so we were able to use it fairly well. But this last con we went to, Classic Game Fest, we were nervous because we had a 10 by 10 spot. That's all we had was a 10 by 10 spot, like right dead center we were on a corner, thank God, but right dead center and like where all the vendors and stuff are. And we were like, we hinted to the people several times. We're like, hey, if there's any additional spots, it would be nice. Cause we kind of have this 8-foot tall Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that blows up to take pictures with and stuff. But it actually worked out really well. We reconfigured our booth and it worked out really well. But it was busy almost the entire time. Like it was, I think they reported there was over the 2-day event, there was 10,000 people. And next year they're going to a 3-day event. And I'm just like, okay. So we'll have to figure out how we work on the Friday. But anyway, no, it worked out really well. So I'm really happy with that. As for starting the RTV, I was like, nope, gotta stay focused. Stay focused. And we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, I'll start on the RTV later on. So I will get to it, just haven't got to it yet. Some other things that I did get done. Let's see here. Upgrade. Okay, so one of my Ghostbuster group, he was moving to Hawaii and wasn't able to take a lot of his stuff, and he was selling off some of his stuff super cheap. And one of the things he was selling off was it's like a $200 Lego Ecto, and he sold it to me for like $50.
Wow.
That's
Like
that's
first,
cool.
he was even going to charge me that much. I'm like, dude, no, I'm not. Like, you've got to take something for that.
Yeah.
So I had this Lego Ecto and I had it sitting in my office and I thought it was really awesome. Well, for Father's Day, I asked for a light and sound kit for it. Well, I finally got around to starting to put it together, and I got about halfway through the installation and realized one of the bags was missing. And it's from a Chinese company. So I'm just like, okay. So I emailed the thing. It was like, hey, I'm missing bag number 5 or whatever it was, waiting for them to hear back. And I'm like, I've had this thing for a little bit. Let me just check Amazon. Sure enough, I've got like 3 days left that I can return it. So I'm like, well, they don't let me know something. So sure enough, I had to undo the work that I did, pack all the stuff, send it to Amazon, got a refund, got a return. And I did get the return pieces in. And over the weekend, I think I spent last Thursday and Friday putting the parts on it. And oh man, it's so cool. I don't think I posted it on my personal Instagram account. If you check out the Austin Ghostbusters Instagram account, you can actually see it with all the lights and sound and everything. I sent video to the group of friends or whatever so they could see it. And man, that was a lot of fun. Another thing that has to do with Ectos, you can't see it right now. Actually, I can lift the camera up just a little bit, but right up top there is that Ecto that I started working on a couple of years ago that from the company Eagle Moss. Like, it's a subscription thing. Every month they would send you parts for it, and the company went under, and we're like, oh man, what are we gonna do now? Another company, an American-based company called Fan Home, picked it up, said, hey, yeah, we're going to pick it up and we're going to, run with it. It'll be great. And it took like 6 months for them to finally get organized, but they did. And they finally started shipping out parts. In fact, let's see here, go this way.
Not to Canada.
There we go. Yes, but not to Canada. So we're going to have to talk about that. But yeah, so that is what I've got put together right now. That's basically the major part of the body. Awesome. And so I'm hoping maybe the next kit that I get, my next subscription, I can actually combine the two so that I don't have this huge monster part sitting here and this other huge monster part sitting somewhere else. But I'm finally getting back to being able to do that every month. And just like working with the Lego, sometimes it's nice to just kind of turn your brain off and just follow instructions and still make something. Like, I get why people do like puzzles and of course Lego and stuff like that. Like, it's nice to be able to make something and not have to constantly figure out, okay, what kind of screw am I going to use for this? I'm just literally told use an L3. Okay. So,
something you found.
Yes.
You didn't learn about your enjoyment of Lego until adulthood. So
yeah, no, there's so many Lego. Like, if there's totally a different universe where like that's what I do all the time. It's freaking just Legos. Sure. So, and the last thing that I had on the list that I did work on is and actually I forgot to add 2 things to it, but so I don't think, did I talk about the build day that we had as a Ghostbuster group on this show? I don't think I did. So last month,
I remember hearing about it, but I don't remember.
No, I don't remember
it on the show.
Okay, so we decided, one of the group members, actually, it's funny, the guy who actually moved, before he moved, he was kind of pushing for us. He's like, hey, we should have a monthly get together where it's not an event, just for us to sit down and like chat. because we do talk a lot at these, at the conventions and stuff like that, but we're constantly interrupted to do pictures or talk to people and stuff like that. So, a lot of times you'll start a story or a conversation and it just, it never gets finished because you have 5 people you're taking pictures for and you don't remember what you were talking about. So we started having these monthly get-togethers just to kind of hang out and talk or whatever. And we were like, hey, we should have a build day. And so we can maybe help out. And so it wasn't completely all over the map. We could kind of focus a little bit. I was like, well, what if we focused on the on PKA meters? Because several people have the one from Spirit of Halloween. I'm the one that makes the parts that, I sell on Etsy or whatever. I'm like, if y'all need help with your PKA meter, why don't you bring it and we'll work on that? So that's what we did one day. It was a lot of fun. We had quite a few people from the group. I actually smoked a brisket and took it or whatever, just because we were like, well, we may order pizza or something. And I was like, well, brisket's not that expensive. I can smoke a brisket. And I realized I hadn't smoked anything all summer. So I'm like, yeah, I need to break out the grill or the barbecue pit. So, but no, we had a good time, and it was a lot of fun just sitting around and being able to once again chat and cut up and have fun with the group of people that I do enjoy being around, but also being able to make and build stuff with other people who are passionate about the same things that I am. So one of the other guys did bring one of his proton packs. So it's funny. It's like we had 2 or 3 people trying to help him figure out how to put the frame or how to put the Alice frame on his new proton pack while I'm over with another guy, like taking apart PK meters and putting parts together and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. And then the one thing that I didn't put on here, and I don't have it here to show, for Father's Day, my wife totally surprised me and bought me one of the old metal star colanders like they used in the first Ghostbusters. My mom actually has one, and I've been eyeballing it forever. And she's like, no, this has sentimental value. I'm not giving this to you because I know you're going to do something with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to turn it into a hat. That's what I'm going to do, or a helmet, I should say. And so anyway, she surprised me with one she found off of eBay. And this week, my job has finally settled back, starting to get back into the normal groove. And so I've had some extra time, and I haven't posted pictures of it yet, but I did manage to get the 3 feet off of it. And I 3D printed a bunch of little parts. And one of the other guys has already made one, so he told me which screws to go get. So actually, I've got pictures of it. You really won't be able to see it too well. And like I said, I haven't sent it on the back channel or anything like that. But so let's see here. We'll just kind of show this because you can kind of see on the camera. So
oh yeah,
that's what it looks like in the beginning.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I've actually worked on it a little bit more since then. Oh, go away. But that's what it's looking like now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Today I was actually able to start putting the some of the wires and stuff on it because the wires just kind of go everywhere.
Yep.
I've started working on that. I'm going to have to the guy who brought his beforehand, there's a picture of me wearing it, and I put it on. I was like, you didn't put any padding in this, did you? He's like, no. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to put padding. I'm like, especially if you don't have any hair, because it's like literally all these little screws and stuff just like needling into my skull. And mine is doing the same thing as well. Well, I was like, you should get some upholstery foam or something and like maybe pad the inside of it. And then I got to thinking about it more, and I was asking him, I was like, are you planning on like bringing that to cons and stuff and like letting people wear it? He's like, yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, well, if you do the upholstery foam, then you probably need to put something over it like leather or vinyl or something that you can wipe it off very easily, so that, we're not causing a medical issue possibly. We're not spreading an infectious disease or anything.
Yes.
But so that's one of the next things. Once I get all of the metal pieces done on the inside, I am going to, I've already got foam and I've already got some leather. I hope I've got big enough pieces of leather, but I'm going to put that on the inside of it so it'll at least be comfortable to wear. The only part I'm really missing at this point is I still have to get a chin strap, and there's a little part of me that wants to go to the football guys and be like, hey, do y'all have an extra chin strap that's not being used? And instead of me having to go buy one, they're not that expensive, but it would be nice to just be able to just grab one and throw it on the thing. So
I was going to ask, have you considered shaping a bicycle helmet inside of it?
No, I hadn't thought about that. I've already got the foam and stuff, but if this doesn't work out, if my first thought doesn't work out, then that may be what I go to.
and then you'd just be able to use that strap across to.
No, that's true. So, but yeah, so
It's not as fun, but
yeah. I'll look into it, but like I said, my first thought is that, and I was planning on just putting the strap on it using screws and stuff, but there's a little part of me that's like, because the other guy who does it, he's like, yeah, I just took a hand riveter and put it on there, and I was just like, maybe that's a small piece, because those aren't expensive either. I'm like, maybe that's a piece of technology I need to start looking into as well. So
the other option is a hockey helmet. Hockey helmets the chin strap is attached by screws.
okay, so all right, well, I may have to look into that. So, but yeah, so that's what I've been working on. I've been making progress on several different things. And then just as a side note from the last episode talking about, so Christy and I are currently in our testing phase, as it were, and we've got about just over another week. And as long as nothing else, I even had a slight catastrophe happen. My car battery died the other day, and it was 100% dead. I couldn't remember the last time I changed the battery. That was a big thing right there. But yeah, being 100+ degrees outside, I'm sure it just completely killed it. Like I got in, it didn't even try to start. My buddy, my partner drove his truck around. We tried jumping it. It didn't do anything. So he took it out and took it to like AutoZone, and the woman put it on the charger thing. She goes, "This has a 0% charge." Like it is dead, which I was happy for, because I was like, please let be the battery. Please let be the battery.
Yeah.
So,
Other
but
than all the other things it could have been,
yeah, because I'm like, well, is it the starter? Is it the alternator? Is it, you can start going down this path very quickly. And I was like, well, this is going to totally derail our test. But no. So anyway, as long as we don't have any other major things come up, I think next week after that, we're maybe going to start building a house. So that'll be interesting. I've already started throwing around, like I've already been thinking, like talking about going outside and sanding this stuff. I'm like, man, if I had a shop, I could do it in there, and it could be comfortable and cool, and it would be so nice. And I like, it was just, I've already been thinking about stuff like that.
especially in Canada when you move up here.
We talked about home prices up there. But like something else that came to mind was I'm like, I know I've already started doing the research on it, and I know it would be too expensive to do it right off the bat. It would be something I'd have to eventually add. But I'm thinking about like where my office is going to be. I'm thinking about making it a secret bookcase that has to open up, because that would be awesome. So
Yes, it would be.
Always cool.
yeah, apparently the Murphy company, that makes Murphy beds and stuff, they sell just the hardware, so you can build everything and do everything yourself, but they also sell full-on kits that you can put together. The kits, depending on the size, are over $1,000. And I'm just like,
but it's so cool. You're paying for cool. So I mean,
I will make cool.
Just the hardware is all you need, and Home
Yeah.
Depot has it as well.
Yeah.
So
in America, the Home Depot has it, not in Canada.
But yeah, so that may be one of the projects that I end up working on. Is it's really the way that it would go. It's literally like there'd be the small hallway that goes here, and then it would be like this way to the master bedroom, and this way to like the laundry room, and right in front of you would be where the door is. Well, if it was just like a small bookcase, it wouldn't look out of the ordinary at all.
Yep.
So yeah, it might that may have to happen. I don't know how quickly it'll happen, but that may have to happen.
Well, it's happening now.
Yeah, well, so all right, well, that's everything I have on my list. I know that was quite a few things. So Kris, you want to go next?
Sure.
All right. Let's see, you had on here finish Quinn's room.
Yes.
Halfway through edits on the book, and work on shaded area behind the garage.
So level 3. We finished Quinn's room. I only have to put up, he's got like Nerf guns I'm gonna hang up in his room. But we did that. It turns out that instead of having winter blues like most Canadians have, where like January, February is just like that happens to me in the summer.
Oh, I get it.
So July and August so far have been like a mental health write-off. I've just had no kind of motivation to do anything. So like there's been some crying. There's been some just days where it's hard to do anything.
Mhm.
And I've never liked summer. I got sick when I was a kid. I had like heat exhaustion. And when you get heat exhaustion once, you tend to be sensitive to it again, as you know, living in the heat.
Yes.
So I don't do well in the heat, which is why I haven't done the gardening, because I don't go outside when it's hot. If it's hot, I'm not going outside. Which also doesn't help with mental health, because I've just cooped up where most people would be cooped up in the wintertime because it's too cold. I thrive. I feel alive in the cold.
Right.
So yeah, the book I'm putting off till September. I haven't even got through the second chapter, and it was just like I hadn't worked on it in a month, and it's just staring at me. So I stuck it in my office and decided yesterday I decided yesterday that it was just like, we're going to wait until September. We're going to wait until there's a routine back in the house and I can try to create a routine for myself and incorporate it there. So the yard work, that part's, I would like it to get done this month, but again, it depends on the weather. Because again, I'm not going outside working for hours on end if it's for us. No. If it's 30 degrees outside.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it's just, I can't survive outside for very long that way. Yeah. And it is shaded and that is nice, but it's just me working on it. And it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, we were thinking about having a housewarming party at the end of August, but we decided to put that off too. So that eases up when I need to get that garden spot done. So we won't have people over for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
We're thinking September.
Maybe. I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe October. Because I enjoy October when we have people over. Like that's our month.
I
we
can't wait
enjoy
for fall.
it. Yeah.
I want fall to happen. We've had it hasn't been as hot as last year. Last summer was really hot. It was tough summer last year.
It felt like we were in Texas the whole summer.
Oh,
it was
just so. Anyway, but this summer has been better for heat. But
better doesn't mean great.
No, we've had more rainy days. It's been low 20s for a couple of days on end, things like that. But yeah, I've noticed, especially today, just looking at the whole summer, it's like my mental health has sucked. It's been a big giant pile of poop. So
Wicked agrees.
Freaking out. I'm just not gonna and I'm just gonna wait until goal setting seems to be stressing me out more than motivating me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes you have to really push yourself to try to get through those blocks like that. But there's sometimes it's just like, you start, you push, and you're just like, this is not happening. This is not going to go anywhere. Why? And unless you have a gun to your head, or you just absolutely positively have to do it. Why? Don't put yourself through that.
I was like, this is just for me, and I'm stressing myself out about it. So it stopped being fun, and it stopped being kind of what I wanted it to be. So it's just like, no, and I'm gonna because sometimes I can I'll know, I'm like, okay, we're going to try. And then the trying starts the train and you can keep going. That's the kick in the ass you need. But when, you start trying and then your mind is like, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to be doing that right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I know this is temporary, so I'm not worried, concerned, but it's just like, it's a pain in the ass. It sucks. So
especially when you start having plans for yourself and you run into this, because a lot of times, well, like you said, you come to realize that the summer does this to you.
Yes.
But sometimes you just have it come out of nowhere, and it's just like, I don't understand why I have no motivation. And
and I don't like those times either, but definitely it's the summer for me. And it didn't happen when the kids were little, because toddlers and babies, you're busy, you're go. They're an easy distraction. And beach days stop happening, you stop needing to go, and then you realize you're like, I hate the summer. I just don't like it. Was I did it because the kids and keeping them busy and doing the things, but you're like, I don't have to. And now you're like, I don't want to go outside if I don't
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for fall, and fall will be kick ass, and then it's snow, and I'll be so happy. And then because that's why I've been putting those things on Instagram of like Halloween, and my sister loves the summer, and she'll DM me. She'll be like, "Stop!" And she'll send me angry faces, and she'll be like, "Stop it!" And I'm like, "Never."
Yep.
Never, because we're the opposite. She gets really down in the wintertime. So
no, I'm definitely like, especially because of the heat has been so bad this summer. I'm definitely ready for the fall. So
yeah, like you can when it's cold, you can put more layers on. You can always do that when there's only so much naked you can get.
Yeah.
Before you're just like
especially around other people.
Yeah, and then I don't like going outside and immediately sweating. It's also like a sensory thing for me too. It's like really agitating to have that happen. So come on, autumn.
Yeah, no, right.
I'm so excited for autumn.
Yeah, we talked about this. I don't remember where we talked about this. May have just been chatting or whatever about how the education system kind of like, I'm missing the proper word, formats you, prepares you, causes you to idolize the summer.
Yes, yeah.
And then if you don't have kids or you're not in education system anymore, you can start to realize, no, the summer sucks. Like
it does. It's a marketing ploy.
Yes,
it's a marketing ploy. Yeah. Yes. Somebody somewhere decided, you know what? Summer. Yeah. And then that's when like everything happens. And if you're not doing it in the summer, when are you ever going to do it? And
now, to be fair, when the whole school curriculum and all that was designed, and summers weren't as bad as they are now.
Well, also,
yeah, absolutely.
But it was also going with the farming seasons too, because summer is harvesting. That's all you're doing is harvesting, and so
planting and
harvesting and working. So it's a lot of work in the summer.
So the families need the kids at home.
Yeah. Now that's not the norm, and now once the kids kind of don't need that constant entertainment and they're good at doing it by themselves, you're like, summer fucking sucks.
Yeah.
See, I will have that, of course, because the boys are still, they're just now starting middle school. So I've still got quite a while that'll be the case. But also the fact that I work in education is also the case. But even then, after then, I'll be perfectly fine. But Christy will still be ready for it just because that's when she goes to the beach, and because she's a big beach person, and I am not a beach person at all. So it's just like, okay, well, that's cool. You do you. But yeah, it would during the summertime, I'd be like, nope, just make sure to turn on the AC in my shop before I go out there. Or
Yep. Yeah.
Go to the movie theaters where it's cool.
Where it's cold, go to the mall, walk around. But summer is not my friend. That's it.
All right, Ray, you had two things on your list. You had work on the shop and shelves in Quinn's room.
Okay. All right.
50%.
Well, added things.
Yes, added things too as well.
So the shelves were done within the timeline that I was ready to have them done.
Yeah, and they're great.
They're made of cedar. I had to replace a couple of ones. They turned out really nice. I'm happy with the way they turned out. Then we also, as we were processing and get ready to do the shelving, we realized that his closet is not working for him at all.
No, it looked like a bomb went off in there.
So pulled everything out, and with it being lath and plaster everywhere, we couldn't put anything we wanted wherever we wanted because that's not how that works.
And nothing's square.
And nothing is square. So I put 3/4 inch plywood everywhere, made the corners as square as possible. And then I built a cabinet.
Well, it's a dresser.
It's a dresser, but it's a built-in anyway. So built that in, and we got the shelf up top with
nice
copper pipe to use as a hanger, and so that was on top. And then we also put shelves on the other side. So it's a walk-in closet technically. It's the biggest closet we have.
Step in. I would call it a step
in. But still, it's big enough closet, and that actually frees up enough that we can. That's also where the attic access is.
Mhm.
And so that frees it up so that we can actually get to that a lot easier than what was there before.
Oh,
I
nice.
was hating it, and I'm like, "Ooh, what's up there?" So I pushed it open a little bit, and then immediately that episode of The Simpsons where they have the son living up in the attic came in. I'm like, "No!" And then I had to put it back down.
Which I told her, you haven't seen me go up with the fish head.
I
yet,
know,
so it's
but I'm
fine.
just like, no, somebody lives up there. Something lives up there.
So anyway, but and I don't think I showed I may have showed these at the last episode, but I actually got some drawings done too, which I was happy with. So we did a Dave Grohl.
I don't remember if you showed it or not. I know you've shown it to me, but yeah, that is awesome.
So there's Dave Grohl, and then I also did. I finished up. All I have to do is seal this now. This is Chris's. This is Stryker from
Strider.
Sorry.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings. So,
dude, that looks so awesome.
This is so good.
So,
Yeah.
was able to get that one all done too. So we'll seal that up and send it off to whoever wants.
Me.
Yeah, I gotta know.
Nobody gets it. That's
Nobody
fine.
gets it. So yeah, I was able to do that. I got the gesso done on the painting. That was probably a little while ago though. So it's ready for some oil paint. And yeah, I would say it's pretty successful overall. So the only thing that didn't was the shop.
Yeah.
The shop hasn't seen any love because I've been busy building instead. So,
But now it can.
Now I can do cleanup again, get some stuff out of there, and then I've found out that I'm gonna have to put up some more plywood up in the shop. And when I do that, I'll do French cleats all over the place.
Nice.
And then that way I can just have French cleat walls and go from there. So
that's a good idea. That's a really good idea, because that way if you want to move anything around or change it. Okay, so not that we have a topic or anything, but like I said, it's looking very positively like this house thing is going to happen. And so within a year, I'm going to have a shop, and I'm literally going to be starting from almost zero. Like I do have a few tools that have been waiting for a place that they can be mounted or placed or something like that. But what is her name? Kris, you got me watching her.
DIY Danny.
DIY Danny. So
yes, she's in her garage. She's
building. Her and her husband have built this monster garage that's going to be a monster shop and everything else for her. And literally, the last episode she did was her trying to plan out like stuff in the shop and stuff. And I'm just watching it the whole time, and I'm just like, I'm excited, but I'm also already getting overwhelmed because I'm like, I don't want to make a decision that's going to be stupid and be like, no, I shouldn't have put that there. That obviously should have been over there. What was I thinking?
So, you know, what was funny as we're watching that, and I feel like I'm going to send Danny a message, because underneath the stairs that she was talking, I was thinking that would be perfect for a spray booth for like airbrushing or if you're spraying whatever, that way you've got a vent to the outside.
Yeah.
Make that a nice little booth and spray all your heart's desire, and you don't need anything on, because the booth would actually take care of that. So that would be my thought, because it's already mostly enclosed anyway. So
yeah, and see, once it gets built, I'm gonna have to go in there and kind of figure out some of that stuff. So like the other thing is like, you know, I am talking about possibly, you know, a little further down the line, maybe getting into some woodworking. Nothing major, nothing super big or whatever. But like right now, my focus would still be more like cosplay stuff. So I'm like, well, what tools would I really want? Like my mom's got a very simple kind of fold out, you know, on a stand table saw that she never uses, that I'm sure I could have. But I'm like, you know, I could put my 3D printers in there. That would free up quite a bit of space. I could actually look at maybe getting a laser cutter, because then I'd have windows that I could vent it out of. And you know, the main thing is I don't have room in here to do that, but you know, that's the type of thing that I'd want to look at. And even though he doesn't really do many YouTube videos nowadays, he mainly does live streams. Odin, when he was doing a lot of foam smithing, was using like a bandsaw. because you can get these really nice cuts, especially angled cuts and stuff on foam. And so I'm just like, okay, that might be something to look at. What's interesting is Christy actually told me to kind of look at her father or grandfather's shop, because he's definitely moved on to the point where he really doesn't go in there, and there's, he really can't work in there anymore.
Yep.
And her aunt were wanting me to look at different tools and stuff. And this was just a month or so ago. And I was like, yeah, there's some tools in here that would be interesting to have, but I don't have a place for them. Like, I don't know what. And now I'm kind of on the opposite side. And I'm just like, I may actually have a place for some of these tools.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So, like, I've got a chop saw that, literally I have to either put on the concrete or put on the table out in the backyard, so I can use it or whatever. And of course, it doesn't have really a long distance of support. And I'm just like, I could actually use this thing. And it's so exciting. But like I said, it's also kind of overwhelming because, I'm already starting to think things like, well, eventually I'm going to need to look into maybe a vacuum system so that, I can pull all the dust and stuff out. And I'm like, I can get to that stuff eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just, I'm already, those gears are already starting to turn of like, okay, well, how would I want to set this shop up? Because it's something I've never done before. I've never had a shop before. So this is my first time.
Yeah.
But I have to keep thinking, I have to keep Adam Savage in the back of my head, because he's like, my shop is, his cave, as he called it, he's like, it's constantly changing. He's like, I'm constantly, this used to be over here and live over here. And now it's like, well, that was fine for now, but things have changed. So now it lives over here and this lives over here. And, he's constantly changing stuff. And I have to keep in mind that this doesn't have to be a absolutely permanent thing. This can be something that is a living, breathing thing that grows with me. And your idea of doing French cleats, especially along most of the walls, is a fantastic idea, because even if I did put a cabinet up that had a bunch of stuff in it, if it's on with French cleats and I need to move it over, it really should have been over another foot. You just empty it out, move it over a foot.
Yep.
Ta-da! So,
and there you go.
yeah. So that's a good idea. I guarantee if this house thing does happen, we're going to be workshopping some shop ideas on either on this show or just, in general and everything else. So
the immediate thing, just for consideration, is if you're going to do woodworking and have your 3D printers in the same shop, have your 3D printers in an enclosed space. So be able to close off those printers just to protect them
from sawdust and stuff. Yeah. So, well, like the chop saw I have is okay. It's, it's a fairly cheap one or whatever. It's not like I'm, if I start getting super into it, then I'd want to look at really high end tools.
Yeah.
But, like I follow several other, YouTubers and stuff. And like some of them, the one guy, I can't remember, Make Something. He was like, the reason why I have this particular saw, I spent a lot of money on it. He goes, but this was hands down the best deals with sawdust, better than any other saw on the market. He was like, that's why I went with it. Not because of the brand, not because of this or anything else. He's like, just because it handles sawdust the best. And I'm like, see, that's the type of stuff I need to know. And, even though I'm on Dave Ramsey's, mailing list or whatever, like, his class, his lesson thing that he puts out there, how to build a wood shop for under $1,000. Like, that's stuff I'm going to be looking into. That, because he's got excellent ideas on, how to start off cheap. And then, as you go along, you can add and build up and everything else. So, but just the idea like of having some of this space is just crazy. And then I've already started thinking, like I was talking to the boys, next month is the big, it's like the biggest train show in Texas. Or at least it's the longest running, but the model train show. And I was just like, guys, we build this house there. We might have room, and we could find room in a place and maybe do some model railroading, and that would be awesome. So,
yeah. Be fun to have tunnels.
Do what?
Tunnels.
Put some like
tunnels throughout the house. I don't think Chrissy's gonna go for that.
You don't have to know. You can just stop by when the builders are there, put some pipe down, and be like, just leave it, drywall it, and I'll know it's there.
See, I'd want small trains for inside during stuff, but I've watched some people who've done like the garden trains and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I mean, I know they're super expensive, but it's like it's not as expensive as I thought. Like, I'm not talking about doing like the ones you can ride on or anything like that. Like,
No,
but just like the O skill, the decent,
Yeah.
the decent sized ones, like they've done some really cool things, and I'm just like, that would be so cool to just have a train that goes around the yard or whatever. And
It shows up and snows on it for no reason.
so
It even had snow on it. Sorry, Simpsons episode. Anyway.
yeah. But no, I'm excited about the idea of having a shop, and like I said, I'm both excited and already starting to feel overwhelmed. And I'm trying not to. I'm trying to make this a completely positive thing, but you know how it is. It's like, okay, well, if I make a decision now, how long term is this decision? And the idea of doing French cleats definitely helps with that. So,
well, French, and then the other one that I've kind of accidentally come upon was having an electrical cord above my head over top of the workspace. So and having it so that it's movable. Fantastic, because palm sanding, whatever it is, it's right there. The cord's not in the way. That was one of my best accidental finds. So
all right. Should we go ahead and move on to what we plan on working on for next time? So the next time we do this episode will be
Halloween!
the beginning of October.
So happy.
So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I have a calendar reminder that's going to go off on September 1st telling me, hey, time to start working on tombstones. I'm pretty sure it's there. In fact, I'm just going to look real quick. Let's see here. Pull up the calendar. September 1st.
Yeah, because you want to add more to our front yard.
Yes, I do.
Yep, there it is. Work on tombstones. So yep, I knew it was there. So cool. All right. Well, does anyone have anything they want to put out there first? Or I've already got mine listed, so I could go ahead and go if you want.
Go ahead.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I put finished proton pack. I am still keeping myself from doing some other things until I get that project done. I feel like once I get the sanding and painting done on these pieces, it's literally going to be putting stuff together, and I can do that fairly easily anywhere, including inside where it's nice and cool. So I have a feeling that's going to start picking up in pace once I get that done. Start tombstone construction. Like I said, I was looking to see when the next episode was going to be. I'm like, yep, pretty sure I'll be working on tombstones between now and then. I will have to change one thing about it. I will not be able to do some of the painting the way that I did it the first time around. Turns out acrylic paint soaks into brick pretty well. Doesn't really want to come out. Yeah, I had to buy. I had to do some research. I had to buy Gugon, or is it Goop or Gugon? One of those companies makes a graffiti remover.
Okay.
And I had to spray that on the brick, and then I basically had to buy a wire brush to put on my drill, kind of go over the brick a little bit with that, and then power wash it, and it came out, so it's fine. So needless to say, won't be doing that again. But I was like, it's acrylic. Like it washes out of clothing. Why would it not come out of? Apparently, it doesn't come out of brick. So, and then finishing the colander helmet, and I will probably have the colander helmet finished here in the next week or so, which frees up more time to get the other things done.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. I don't know if this is actually gonna happen, but Nicholas has already come to me once again with the thought process of, I think I'd really like to be a clone trooper. And I'm just like, okay. As much as it would be nice to just set it up on the 3D printer and have it print, I just don't know if, I don't know. I'm still playing with the idea. Like, yes, I would have to. The thing is once it prints, then I've got to figure out a way. I've got to sand it all.
Yeah.
And I have been playing with some new ways of sanding stuff. Actually was working on the stuff now with it, and it worked out pretty well. But I'm like, man, I don't really want to have to stand out there and and sand all of these pieces for this. So I think I'm leaning towards using EVA foam. So even though I've got several books on it, I have watched countless videos on it. I've not done a lot of foam smithing, so it may be one of those things. It's like, well, this is where I'm going to jump in, and it's going to be making armor for him. And one of the biggest drawbacks to this was, I kept thinking was, I'm going to be spending a lot of time and a lot of effort building foam armor for an 11-year-old.
Who's going to grow out of it?
He's going to grow out of it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He's almost already adult size anyway. So if I make it a little bit bigger, unless he just completely laps me in the height department or, in weight department, A, he should be able to wear it for a good while. But number two, like, I might, if we're not using it anymore, I might be able to even sell it to an adult and be like, no, this is adult sized armor. I mean, yeah, it was being worn by an 11 and 12-year-old, but this will fit you, dude.
Well, yeah. Well, Logan, what was she? She was already 5'4" when she was 11.
Yeah.
Like the same age as Nick. She was already the size of an average woman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's grown 4 inches. She's 5'8" now. But yeah, like.
But I mean, yeah, 4 inches is still, that's a good difference.
It's a good
Yeah.
chunk,
Yeah.
but like if you're already
Right.
size it up anyway, he'll
Yeah.
fit into it for a long time.
If it does turn out to be a little bit too big, though, you can just say he's Luke because it's just a little bit too big.
Yeah. But I'm like, surely, unless he just like grows and and like he's 5'4", 5'6" right now. He's almost up to me, so maybe he's 5'5", 5'6", somewhere around there. Unless he puts on like 6 inches or so, which he could, because his body shape is definitely acting more like some of Christy's brothers. That could entirely happen. In which case, then even if I made adult-sized armor, it wouldn't fit him anyway. Like it'd have to be extra large adult-sized armor for his size. So, pardon me, that's kind of quieted down that part of my brain that I'm just like, well, I'm gonna make it, and he's gonna grow out of it in a year or so. And be like, well, hell, I might be able to wear it. Who knows? Like he's only a couple inches shorter than I am. Like I just have to, attach it to a different, inner part for me or whatever. But the armor would actually not be that far off. So
You say just make it for yourself and then
And then you
let him borrow it.
What? No, it's an idea. Anyway, because he was even showing me, he even sent me a video. He's like, Dad, did you see this? And it's, I think it's the Black Series. It's the Clone Trooper helmet that has like a voice changer in it or whatever. It's like $120, but it'd be an awesome gift for a kid or an adult, and I wouldn't have to build an entire helmet. Like building the rest of the armor would not be that big a chore if I didn't have to deal with all the complex curves and stuff that's on those helmets. So
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. That may be something else I'm working on. So, but just throwing that out there. I've got 3 projects right now. We'll see how much it blends. Kris, what would you like to work on before October?
I'm going to be a very big Debbie Downer and say nothing.
You and me?
I don't know.
Well, you may surprise yourself, but you may get past September and be like, no, I'm ready to go. Let's do stuff.
Yeah. And that's what my hope is that once things sort of get a little cooler and settle back into some sort of normal routine, you don't realize how much you thrive on routine till it's shoved out the window and you don't have it anymore. Everything sort of just goes. So I'm hoping that'll help with things, because as of right now, and I was thinking, I'm like, oh, what can I do? I was stressing myself out. So I'm like, nothing.
That's fine with me. So, like I said, you may surprise yourself, or you may be like, no, I did nothing and I feel fantastic.
Exactly. That feels like a good decision for me. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Ray, are you going with nothing too? Or are you going to get some stuff done?
No, I'm going to at least plan out where I'm going to do the French pizza and hopefully start putting up some of the support for it. We'll see where all that goes. I'm going to start planning the outside Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
Confirming that my shovel still works, and
I sure hope it does.
What's that?
I said I sure hope it does. Like
I think it will.
This year, I'm planning on doubling my number of tombstones, and then next year, I'm like, no, I'm gonna have to do one of these shovels. because you did such a freaking good job on it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
You should be.
The other thing that I'm really considering is researching a fog machine, but in the way of cooling down the fog that comes out of the fog machine so it stays low to the ground. You can use regular ice for this. I researched a little bit last year, so we may have to purchase a fog machine.
It
I
works.
mentioned that, and you've always said no.
It works better if you use what's it called?
Dry ice.
Dry ice. It does work better with dry ice. I've built one of these before. I used like those rectangular plastic cat litter things.
Yep.
I literally built one out of that. So literally the intake goes from the thing, and then I cut basically like a mouth thing down at the bottom on the other side, and then I filled it with ice before, and it's worked. But if you put dry ice in there, it does chill it more, and instead of just kind of misting out, it does roll out, and now granted, I'm also doing this in Texas, so it's a crapshoot whether or not the ground's still going to be 80 degrees or 60. So definitely when it's cooler, it hangs out. Otherwise, it rolls around for a little bit, and then it's just like, no, it's hot, I'm gone.
Yeah. My only thing with the dry ice is I don't know if I can get dry ice here. I don't know even how to get it. So that's the one consideration of dry ice. I'm not even sure how.
Most of the grocery stores here carry it, and Walmart sometimes have it. But like usually, if I'm going for dry ice, like HEB here usually carries it. So check the local grocery stores; they may have it. So
I'll throw it out there to see what happens. But yes, I'd like to add some fog for the front yard for sure.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
And then setting up obviously the portraits, because my video
your system works.
My system has
it.
been great.
I
So
like
the three of them have worked out real well. And so now I'm thinking about at least doing like a cardboard cutout version of something for the front window here. And backlighting it not so badly that it affects our house, like watching TV and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I'd like to get some spooky shadows coming out of some of the windows. So
that'd be cool.
Maybe,
I have to say, building the Vigo portrait, and then of course the haunted mirror portion of it as well, using some of those video effects. I'm just like, yeah, I wish I had a way. I wish I had a place I could do the projector thing and do it, because man, it looks cool. So
I love the projector. The three windows just work out perfectly for the portraits, so that's going to be a mainstay. The one thing that I'm going to be considering someday, that's not this year, but someday, I've seen somebody build a cellar door, like the wooden doors to the cellar. And they used wiper motors and stuff, and it moves.
And I've seen that too. That is awesome.
So as you go by, it starts like rattling, and I'm like, yes, that's happening.
That looks awesome.
Chains around it and something poking through.
The other thing that I've thought about, and it's a couple here that lives in Austin, just an hour south of me. Wicked Makers. They built a portal thing, and so they built this big portal that sits out front, and then it uses a projector from behind, and it looks like this weird portal to like hell or to a different thing or whatever. And then they repurposed it at Christmas, and so like they decorate it with presents and stuff like that. And then instead, the video of the portal looks like it's going to the North Pole, and I'm just like, I'd totally just leave the damn thing up, like.
Oh yeah, that's
so.
Cool.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm kind of limited as to what all Christy says I can do. Like she's definitely down for the haunted the haunted graveyard. So that's kind of where I'm focusing on. But yeah.
There is one more thing that I'd like to consider to try to do this year. I don't know if it's going to actually happen, but I've seen wire mesh of like spirits where they spray paint the wire. So I've got a mannequin bust. I've got the chicken wire. And then my neighbor gave me a motor for rotisserie. That's pretty powerful. So if I can get this thing built in time and get it all ready, it's probably gonna be next year. But anyway, I would actually use it to raise and lower off of the.
That would be
We have a
cool.
really old tree in our front yard.
Yeah. So it'd be fun to hang it off one of those limbs and just let it rise and lower really slow, and that'd be fun too. So.
I think some of the chicken wire things I've seen, I think they put like string lights on the inside of it and then took I want to say it was either a plastic bag or maybe it was like a clear plastic tarp or something, and then like kind of wrapped it on there and then kind of heat shrunk it onto it or whatever, and then of course left it look very ragged on the bottom, so when it does move, it's it's got on this movement, and then it's just got these glowing lights all through this this shape or whatever. I've seen several different ways done like that, and that's something else I'd like to do. Of course, depending on how the house is built and the place that we're having, we may or may not have a decent tree in the front yard that I can do it from. Like right now, like I've got a beautiful tree out here that I could do it from. And I don't think it's going to happen this year. And so I may have to wait a couple of years before I can do it again.
Or you could build a spot to hang somebody right instead. And then that way it goes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm also going to have an HOA. So I'm going to have to see how it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very intrusive HOA, but I'll have to ask.
Gallows, it's fine.
So, but yes, I'm definitely excited to start decorating for Halloween. So, did I send y'all the thing? It's literally a kit. I think someone found off of Amazon. It's like 20 candles with a bunch of fishing line, and you're supposed to hang them all, and then it has the wand, and as soon as you hit the button on the wand, they all come on. I was just like, Canadians. So
that's one change that I'd like to do with your.
Oh yeah, because I just tie them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but they're all, you have to twist every one. So it'd be nice to have the wand.
Something you could just turn them all on at once.
It only bugs you. It doesn't bug me. Anyway.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. I don't remember if I mentioned this on the last episode, but Stitcher's going away. In fact, it goes away at the end of August. So if you're listening to this and you still listen through Stitcher, especially any of our shows, time to go find something else. Go listen through iTunes. Go listen through Google Play Store. Go listen through like 1,000 other things. But yeah, Stitcher's going away, so you won't be able to find it there. Where you can find us is at epicallygeeky.com, where you can find this and all the other shows we do, including the Epically Geeky Show, Marginally Geeky Show, and the Sustainably Geeky Show. I've been trying to post a little bit more on the social media stuff, so you can find us on the social medias at Epically Geeky on Facebook and Instagram mainly. And I haven't been posting to X or Threads or whatever other it's so weird. Like everyone's just like, you can already tell this is now where everyone's getting tired of social media because they're just like, I don't want to say X. This is just stupid. So but yeah, you can go find us on all the things and then catch up with us. Otherwise, where can we find you online, Kris?
On Instagram at Moody Midlife.
Ray?
Fixing Sean's posts on Wikipedia and then the Reluctant Yeti on Instagram.
And as always, you can find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Jane on Facebook, Instagram, and X. God, I hate saying that. For everyone on the site, have a good night.